You know, it's not every day you come in this bitch spitting 100% pure, authentic facts. But for me, that's just another Tuesday. For you people, it's never, because you don't have what it takes, the soul, the skill, the passion to provide the content that I provide. And whenever I make these amazing, highly sophisticated, in-depth, well-crafted analysis videos of amazing quality, I always get a slew of comments crying and bitching and saying, what's your favorite? What's your top 10? This and that, that and this. And do you people honestly think you deserve a top 10 from me? You people can't even do the basic bare minimum. Donate, support, follow me over to Twitch. I constantly urge you fucking retards to do the basic bare minimum. You crying bitch in the comment section, I'll just ban you. I'll just delete your comment and ban you. Don't you people understand we've been over this song and dance before? Haven't you people gotten the gist of this channel yet? You say something stupid, you get banned. You don't agree with what I say, you get banned. I speak facts. This is not an opinionated channel. Let's not get that twisted. This is not an opinionated channel. Whatever I say goes and whatever I say is facts. But besides all that, because I know you idiots can't even follow basic rules, you're just gonna cry and I'm gonna just ban you. I decided to comprise a video again, doing the exact opposite of what you people asked me for. You people asked for a top 10, so I'm going to make a video comprising the most garbage overrated anime of all time. I decided to keep the number at a minimum of 15 because I could have been here all day. There's a lot of garbage anime that people hype up, claim to be good, but when you actually watch the shit yourself, you'll realize it isn't as good as people claim it to be. Anyway, let's get on to the fucking video. First up on the list is the garbage known as Tomorrow's Joe, because I'm not even going to try to pronounce the Japanese version. But this is just a big fucking Rocky ripoff. The boxing movie Rocky. Rocky starts off as an underdog type of character. He fights his way up in boxing, starting to get a passion for it, this and that. This hits the same beats as Rocky, but it's severely worse. It's a worse version of Rocky. It's a complete ripoff. And I get this shit came first, but it's still ripping off Rocky because Rocky just does it way better. In this story, it's so unrealistic. The animation's terrible. The characters suck. The dialogue is horrible. Everything about this anime is garbage, awful. The manga has the exact same problems. Because, again, this is from the 1970s, so I can understand how the animation is terrible and whatever, but the way the fights go is just so bad. So that just means that the fights it's adapting from the manga are just that terrible too. I mean, it's so unrealistic. You got Joe, somebody who comes from nothing, fighting his way up to the ranks. You know, the type of underdog story we've seen before. Even in the 1970s, this type of story was played out, but Rocky just does it so much better. Like, the progression from nothing to something in Rocky is just doing better. It's way more fluid. In this, it just sort of happens. It's so unrealistic too. Joe, this person from nothing, is just getting hyped up by all these people. You know, they're betting on him doing this and that, and they're just praying that he wins and shit. And it's so corny and unrealistic. This is an older shonen that people try to pretend like it's better than it actually is when it isn't. It's complete garbage because it like popularized or it created a whole bunch of like tropes of like the shonen demographic, so people try to pretend like this is better than it actually is when no, it's shit. It was shit in the 1970s and it's shit now. It was never good. Rocky is way better. If you want to watch Tomorrow's Joe, just watch Rocky because it's way better than this trash. Way better. Again, the animation sucks. It's completely unrealistic. You got Joe, this small ass man, this small ass character, knocking down people that are twice his size. With horrible animation. They just spam the same soundtrack. The soundtrack is terrible. Everything about this anime sucks. Just watch Rocky. This anime will never be good. It will never be as good as these wannabe fake elitists claim it to be. Terrible. I will never watch this anime again. Next up is the trash known as the Legend of the Galactic Heroes, or whatever this trash is called. Now, this is the most pinnacle elitist anime that people, that fake wannabe elitist anime fans try to claim like it's good when it doesn't even come close to being good. It's a shitty Star Trek ripoff, but not as good as that series. And you know, this anime is just horrible. I watched this anime a long time ago when I was younger, and it's just terrible. And I rewatched it recently. The characters suck, the animation's bad. A lot of the characters just die off because even the person who created this shit know he created a whole bunch of trash characters. So he just starts killing off people left and right because he just doesn't give a fuck. But my biggest problem with this anime is the way they treat space. They treat space like it's forward and back. like the ocean, but you're in outer space. You can go up, down, diagonal, left and right like you're in outer space. They treat space like it's the ocean. It's just so retarded. So much shit could have been avoided if they just went up and flew over the enemy ship or whatever. It's so corny. It doesn't make any sense. The characters do not think irrational. I mean, the characters do not think logically. They all think irrationally. It has so much melodrama, so much boring politics and terrible themes. Like, people try to act like this story is so rich in thematics. It's not. It's basic as hell. It's generic. This anime and manga, or this anime and novel, is completely garbage. There's not one redeeming quality. The animation sucks. Again, all of the characters die. They come on screen just to die an episode later. Every character dies. They all suck too. And again, the creator himself knew he made a whole bunch of trash characters. That's why he just kills everybody off. This anime sucks. Everything about it is horrible. The story is terrible. From episode 1 to episode 100. 100 episodes of trash. Imagine making 100 episodes of trash. This, the remake, the movies, everything about Legend of Galactic Heroes is complete garbage. You got all these fake wannabe elitists hyping this trash up. It will never be good, ever. This shit sucks. Next up on the list is the garbage known as Stein Gate. I honestly don't know how this anime has fans. I guess this was one of those gateway anime like the 2010s, along with Attack on Titan, Sword Art Online, that just got people into anime. That's the only reason. That's the only way I can see, or the reason I can see this anime being as popular as it is. I mean, you don't really see people hyping this shit up anymore. But back in the day, people used to suck this shit off to high heaven, like it was some unique, misunderstood masterpiece, I should say. But no, it's just a shitty, generic time travel plot, convoluted, that makes no sense, with terrible characters that don't even do anything to like enhance the story. A story is only as good as the characters, but the characters in this shit is terrible. With a shitty, done to death time travel plot that just makes no sense. The animation sucks. The dialogue sucks. It's super cheesy and corny. And you know, this is just an anime of a visual novel, and visual novels are terrible. So you should already know there's just nothing of substance or quality to be found in some trash like this. Stein Gate is just another shitty gateway anime that people started hyping up because it was like their first anime in like the 2010s. And imagine getting into anime in 2010s. If you get into anime in like the 2010s, you're just the fakest of the fake. Fuck you. You're fucking casual. But yeah, this is one of those casual gateway anime that will never be good. Just along with Attack on Titan, Naruto, all these trash anime like Cowboy Bebop garbage. These anime will never be good. I don't give a fuck if it's your first or last anime. It's still garbage. Next up on the list is Berserk 1997. Finally! And I mean finally! Berserk 1997 was an anime I watched as a kid, and I thought it was complete garbage. A decade later, I watch it again, and I still think it's complete garbage. Well, I haven't watched this shit in years, but the animation sucks. It has all the problems as the manga. You know, this is an adaptation of the famous Golden Age arc that's supposedly so good. And it sure is an adaptation, because it's just as fucking bad. Terrible characters, story that goes nowhere. Boring characters, two-dimensional characters. Guts and Griffith are horrible characters. Guts is just a shitty, tragic character that people like to hype up, suck off, because he's a tragic character, an archetype that's been done to death. Just a Kenshiro ripoff. He's a ripoff of Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star, but not as good, not as well made, not as developed. With a whole bunch of bland characters that end up dying. The Band of the Hulk, they all just die or separate, yada yada. Griffith does his thing. And it's just a story that is just so boring and uninteresting. It's ripping off Game of Thrones. But in Game of Thrones, it's trash. That's crazy how this is ripping off Game of Thrones when that fucking movie, novel, and TV show is terrible in its own right. But yeah, Berserk 1997 just has all the problems as the fucking manga. There's just nothing good about this trash. Next up is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and this anime sucks, man. Even as a kid, I hated this shit. Again, I've already made an amazing video exposing this trash in my top 10 worst manga of all time. But the Brotherhood anime has all the problems as the manga. Shitty story, shitty characters. It tries to have a serious story yet has so much misplaced comedy, bad animation, terrible power system, terrible fights. Everything about this anime just sucks, man. Horrible art style. Again, it's just a story that just goes on this boring fetch quest. They're trying to like kill all the sins and shit with a whole bunch of terrible characters. People like to hype up characters like Roy Mustang. He doesn't even do shit. He has that one scene where he's flickering a lighter and he like kills fucking who was it? Envy. I don't even remember. Like I barely remember the character's name from this trash. Even though I've watched this anime several times when I was a kid, you know, later on, and then a few years later, I watched this shit several times, and this anime is just it gets worse every time. This is the type of anime that exposes frauds. Like you watch it the first time as a kid, right? And you think it's good. I never thought it was good even as a kid, but for you casuals, like if you watch this shit again, rewatch it, you would start to see all the fucking flaws of this trash. Because this anime was never as good as people claim. So many idiots who just don't know what sophisticated or well-written storytelling is will like him this as like some pinnacle of storytelling. And it's just so pitiful. You people really need to engage in better quality stories, because Full Metal Alchemist was never it. It was never good. It was never well written. It was never quality. It was always trash. Easily one of the worst shonen ever made. And it's funny how people will put this garbage in the same category as like Hunter x Hunter. This will never be as good as Hunter. You people are fucking clinically brain dead. But yeah, Full Metal Brotherhood or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, whatever this garbage is called, it was never good. It was always a garbage anime. Only popular because it was like a gateway anime similar to other shit on this list, like Attack on Titan. Complete garbage. Anyway, next. Next up is the garbage known as Monster. I fucking hate this anime and manga. So many people, so many fake wannabe elitists try to pretend like this is better than it actually is. It's a boring episodic garbage story that goes nowhere. With terrible characters, ridiculous plots. People only like to suck this shit off because of Johan, and Johan is a terrible antagonist. He's just a mentally ill sociopath. Boring thriller that goes nowhere. Half of the cases have nothing to do with the main plot. And people are sucking this off like this is some well-written, thought-provoking masterpiece. This shit is garbage. This is easily Urasawa's worst manga, his most garbage manga. He is actually a good mangaka, but this is his worst work. Easily. Terrible thriller. I've seen better thriller than this. This is one of the worst thriller I have ever read and watched. Terrible anime. The animation sucks. It has all the problems as the manga. Again, terrible characters, terrible story, horrible art style. This is Urasawa's artwork at its worst. He can draw really well in his other manga, but this, it's at its worst. I've never seen artwork from him this bad. But he just didn't know what the fuck he was doing when he made this trash. Just extremely boring. You got idiots making videos. The best antagonist in all anime of manga. And somebody made some garbage video like that of fucking Johan. How? Because he's insane? Because he has a mental illness? He doesn't even do anything that intriguing. He just kills people, blows shit up, tries to confuse people with his antics. And it's super corny. I think one time he dresses up as like a female. I'm like, how am I supposed to take this trash seriously? Again, episodic garbage. I will never read this garbage again. One of the worst anime and manga I have ever come in contact with. Next up is Death Note, and I've never liked this anime. Even as a kid, I thought it was complete garbage. This is just another shitty thriller, just like Monster, but this is actually worse than Monster, because at least Monster has some semblance of realism. This has no realism. It's completely corny. It's about this guy. Well, you should already know the fucking story. I ain't gonna know the fucking plot, but this anime is just complete shit. Light Yagami, his intelligence just makes no sense. Like they depict him as like an all A student, like at the beginning of the story. So I guess I'm supposed to believe he can outwit all of these trained professionals and government officials just because he's like a serial killer with a book. Like the way he outsmarts these adults and shit. It's completely unrealistic. It's super corny. The battle between Light and L is super corny and lame. These characters are trash. When L died, that was one of the best moments in the whole anime because he was a trash fucking character. People try to act like the anime went off the hook when L died and Nier took over. Like, no, it got better. It was still trash, but it got better because L was a trash character. He was never good from the start. How the fuck is him dying gonna make the anime worse when it was trash to begin with and he was a trash character? But this anime is just full of trash characters. Light Yagami, again, is a completely unrealistic character. Misa, a trash character. All the government officials are completely just incompetent, getting outsmarted by a straight H student. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. His intelligence, it doesn't make any sense. Horrible ass anime. I'm telling you, man, this anime has always been bad. It was never good when it first came out. This isn't some type of thing where the anime was good from the start and then it like aged poorly. No, it was never good from the start. It was always trash, always. Next up on the list is the garbage known as Code Geass, and this anime is complete garbage. This is another anime back in the day people used to suck off, hype up like it was good. You know, it's a generic thriller that tries to be good and has a whole bunch of mechs and fights that have no place in the type of story this anime is trying to tell. And it tells it poorly done, I should add. You know, it has a whole bunch of bad characters. They try to make Lelouch this amazing character that can just go through any situation, like deceiving people, and it's just super corny, man. The whole eyeball shit that he has, that he like makes people forget, it's super corny. It's just a rip off of the Sharingan from Naruto. And imagine taking elements from a trash story like Naruto. Imagine that shit could never be me. But Code Geass is just complete garbage. They tried to bring it back with a movie. There's a reason why nobody talks about this anime anymore. You know, this anime only lives on in like erotic merchandise. That's the only type of shit you'll find new from this anime. The story is terrible. The characters again are bland. It has a shitty high school setting, a whole bunch of shitty generic high school comedy. And again, I'm supposed to take this shit seriously. It tries to have these, it tries to have all these like political elements, and it's just poorly done. It's just a shitty garbage anime for you know, young teenagers, juvenile teenagers who like to see tits in action, and with like a sprinkle of fake deep commentary on political themes. And it just isn't done well. It has a mesh of like all of this bullshit, and none of it is incorporated well. It's poorly done. I don't get how anybody can be a fan of this trash. How? The art style is ugly as shit. Everybody's like lanky as fuck. I never liked the art style of this trash. I thought it was horrible and ugly as shit. Ugly as sin. But yeah, this anime is complete dog shit. I'm not staying too long on this garbage trash. Next up is Madoka Magical Girl. This anime is complete dog shit. It tries to take the theme of magical girls and like make it all dark and edgy. Ugh, so unique, such a revolutionary concept. And then it just spawned a whole bunch of imitators that were actually better. There's this anime called Magical Girl Sight that's way better than this trash, way more interesting than this garbage. This trash is so hard to be like an edgy emo version of fucking, you know, like Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura. Way better magical girl stories than this fucking trash. This anime was always garbage. It just appeals to edgy emo losers who like cute shit mixed with like dark edgy shit, grim shit, and it just isn't done well. The characters are horrible. The plot makes no sense. Whole bunch of retcons and Deus Ex Machinas galore. This shit has like 5 different continuities and it just doesn't make any sense. It's hard to follow. Again, the story's bad. The art style is horrible, horrendous. The dialogue is trash. Everything about this anime sucks. It's getting a whole bunch of movies. Like, why? How are people fans of this shit? How? Like, I really want to know. School me on that. How are you a fan of something this bad? Trash. Next up is Welcome to NHK. This anime and manga is complete dog shit. The only reason people like this anime is because they can relate to the main protagonist. He's like a loser, a neat with no job. He jacks off the anime, has a whole bunch of figures. You know, he has a whole bunch of tissue napkins next to his table. And like the people who watch this shit, who thoroughly examine and analyze this garbage, they relate to the main character because they can see themselves in the trash character that is the main character, the pathetic loser that is them. They go hand in hand. That's the only reason this anime has like a niche sort of you know, cult following, I should say, similar to some trash like Fooly Cooly. But this anime sucks. It's not deep. It's not philosophical. It has a whole bunch of bad humor, unfunny humor that only a complete retard would laugh at. Tit jokes, pornography jokes, shut-in jokes. That's basically the gist of this entire anime for like 20 episodes. I watched this shit a long time ago. It's not good. It doesn't have any deep commentary, unlike Serial Experiment Lane, which is amazing, which is a masterpiece. I'm not like one of those casuals who watched this or Lane recently. No, I watched this shit a long time ago, and I thought NHK was trash. But yeah, this is just a Serial Experiment Lane ripoff, but not as good, not as well made, not as well crafted, and will never be as good. Trash. Next up is Kino's Journey. Now this is a trash anime with a retarded premise, with terrible fights, terrible animation, the art style, everything about this anime is terrible. You know, it stars Kino. He's traveling, trying to find his identity or whatever. I don't even remember the plot of this shit. This anime was just so bad, so forgettable, that I just don't even want to just think about this anime. But again, the art style was terrible. It had a whole bunch of fight scenes, and like Kino is just beating all of these people, these experts, these you know, giant people. He's just outsmarting them. Like he's just so unstoppable in this anime, and it just loses all suspense whenever there's like an action scene or whatever. It's just so corny. I hate this anime with a passion. It tries to be so deep and philosophical, and it just fails in every way because the characters are bad. The few characters that do like show up in the anime are just terrible. They're not good. They're not well made. The story is terrible. It's not good. It's not well written. The animation sucks. The dialogue is cheesy. Kino himself is a terrible protagonist. This anime just sucks. It had like a remake like a few years ago, and somehow it was even worse than the original. I'm telling you, man, a lot of these anime with like these niche cult followings, they are not good. They're not good. I'm telling you. Don't buy into it. They're not good. They're trash. Next up is Cowboy Bebop. This anime sucks. The only reason why this anime is popular is because of Toonami. The Toonami heads who sucked this shit off when they were a kid are sucking this off. And I'm a Toonami head too. Don't even get it twisted. But this anime was trash. I always thought this was an inferior, a worse version of Outlaw Star and Trigun. Way better anime and manga. This anime is just dog shit. Horrible. Terrible characters galore. The only saving grace is the animation, but the characters are trash. Spike is such a trash character. They try to make him cool. He's like a wisecracking, like old timer that's like his glory days are gone and shit, like Dante from DMC or some shit, and it's just done so poorly. He's like a wannabe Dante, but not as cool as Dante from DMC, and it's just trash. The story, the episodic garbage that unfolds is just pointless filler that doesn't amount to anything until they bring into like a story arc in like the last episodes. Like his backstory is unveiled and it just comes out of completely nowhere. Like prior to that episode, those last episodes, they just completely randomly thought of this shit to like end the story. He like dies in the end. I was just thankful when he died. People like to cry. I can't believe Spike died, motherfucker. I was cheering when that motherfucker died. Spike was a terrible character. He was easily the worst thing about this anime. Like out of all the anime on this list, this is probably the least trash out of all the anime on this list. But Spike just makes it completely garbage. He's just an insufferable character. Horrible character. Trash. Next up is the garbage known as Fruits Baskets. This anime is complete garbage. The original and remake is terrible. Horrible ass anime. Just a shitty shoujo romance for females who can't experience romance in real life, so they like latch onto anime like this to make themselves feel better while eating their favorite ice cream. But this anime is just complete garbage. Terrible characters, horrible dialogue, unfunny comedy. It tries to be deep and complex, but just fails because the art style and characters cannot be taken seriously. Stop hyping out these trash anime. They're not good. This is just a shitty generic romance anime that's only popular because it was one of those gateway anime in the early 2000s. I know about all of the gateway anime because I was from that era. I was from the late 90s to early 2000s era. So I know what people were hyping up. I know what's good and what's bad. And this was always bad and it will never be good. Trash. So there you have it, the most garbage overrated anime of all time. Now I could have been on this list for years. It's just exposing garbage, but I decided to keep it at a minimum of 15 because I could have been here all day. These are anime that you losers hype up, think are good, but in reality don't even come close to being good. I may make a follow-up if this video does well. There's a lot of garbage that you people hype up that I just love exposing. Terrible, terrible anime.